KL Publications presents The Shift by Ryan C. Sanders. Joseph sat at his desk staring blankly at the news alerts flashing across his phone. His eyes flickered between headlines, celebrities in fear over new release videos implicating them in a massive wrongdoings that will certainly tarnish their public view. New scandal rocks the entertainment world, and social media erupts over yet another viral challenge. It was a never-ending stream of noise, perfectly designed to capture his attention and distract him from whatever he's doing. He felt a familiar heavy pull, a subtle tug, urging him to scroll endlessly, to stay plugged in. He knew he wasn't the only one caught in this whirlwind of distractions. Everyone around him seemed consumed by it too. His best friend Safia had noticed a change in him. Once a focus-driven person, Joseph now seemed frazzled and disconnected, like his thoughts were scattered across the screen in front of him, dominated by stories that had no real impact on his life. "Joseph, what's going on with you lately?" Sophia asked one day over coffee. "I barely see you anymore. And when we do talk, you're always talking about some viral story that doesn't even matter." Joseph shrugged, his eyes still glued to his phone. "I'm just keeping up with what's going on in the world. You have to stay informed, right?" Sophia frowned. "But informed about what? Every time I ask, it's the same drama or trend. How does this help you? How does this help any of us?" She leaned in, lowering her voice. "Don't you see what's happening? They're taking over our minds." Joseph finally looked up, puzzled. "What are you talking about?" "I'm talking about the constant distractions, the media, the influencers, the stories that flood our feeds every day. It's all designed to keep us from focusing on what we really want and what really matters," Sophia said, her voice growing more passionate. "They keep us locked into this cycle of consuming pointless content. And the more attention we give it, the more power it has over us." Joseph shook his head. "That sounds like a conspiracy theory, Sophia. It's just entertainment." "It's not just entertainment," she pressed. "Think about it. Where attention goes, energy flows. If we're constantly giving our attention to these distractions, we're feeding the machine that profits off our divided focus. While we're busy scrolling through meaningless stories, the real issues, our personal growth, our communities, our futures, are left unattended." Joseph leaned back, intrigued but skeptical. "So what do you propose? Stop looking at the news? Ignore everything going on in the world?" "I'm not saying that ignoring everything helps," Sophia clarified. "I'm saying we need to take control of where we place our focus. If we let the media hijack our subconscious minds with these distractions constantly, we lose our power. But what if we maintain our focus on the things that truly matter, our goals, our personal development, and the issues that can uplift our communities? Then we're the ones in control." Sophia's words stuck with Joseph. As he left the cafe that day, he couldn't shake the feeling that she was onto something. He spent the next few days paying closer attention to how much time he wasted on stories that didn't impact his life in any meaningful way. Trending online stories would pop up, the latest celebrity feud, a viral TikTok dance, or another political scandal blown out of proportion, and each time he felt the same pull to engage, to commit, to scroll deeper. But then he remembered Sophia's words very clearly. Where attention goes, energy flows. He realized how much energy he was giving away to those distractions, energy that could be channeled into something far more productive. He would see how slowly but surely his mind had been conditioned to seek out the next sensational headline, leaving little room for deeper thoughts or personal growth. One evening, after another exhausting day of mindless scrolling, Joseph decided to unplug. He turned off his phone and pulled out a notebook. For the first time in a long while, he wrote down his goals, real goals, not the fleeting desires stoked by social media influencers or ads. He wrote about the businesses he wanted to start, the skills he wanted to learn, and the ways he wanted to contribute to his community. With each word, he felt a shift, like his focus was realigning with something deeper, something more meaningful. The next morning, Joseph felt a sense of clarity. he hadn't experienced in months. Instead of reaching for his phone first thing, he spent time meditating and visualizing his day. He set intentions to stay focused, to be mindful of where he placed his attention, and to avoid the endless media noise that once consumed him. As the days passed, Joseph noticed subtle changes in himself. He felt more energized, more creative, and more in tune with his surroundings. His productivity soared, and his anxiety, once fueled by the relentless churn of online stories, began to fade. He saw how the constant media distractions had drained his mental reserves, keeping him trapped in a cycle of reaction rather than creation. Meanwhile, Sophia continued to challenge the narrative around them. Together, they discussed the latest viral stories not as a participant, but as observers. They saw how the media thrived on controversy and how people's focus was easily manipulated by the latest trending topic. It was clear, the more energy people gave to these distractions, the less energy they had for their own lives. One afternoon, while sitting in the park, Sophia shared a story that had recently gone viral online. Have you seen the latest? Everyone's obsessed with this new influencer who's doing wild stunts. It's all everyone's talking about. Joseph smirked. And what does that have to do with our lives? Exactly, she laughed. It's crazy how quickly people get swept up in it. It's like they've forgotten they've got the power to choose what they focus on. Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot lately, Joseph said. When I think about the word government, it's policies that are in place to facilitate the dysfunction. To govern something means to control it. And ment is from the root word mentalis, which means mind. Considering these facts, it's like we're all being trained to follow these stories, but they're just distractions. It's not real progress. Real success comes from knowing what you want and staying focused on it, not from chasing the latest trend. Sophia nodded. Exactly. It's like we're learning to follow others, whether it's influencers, celebrities, or whatever's trending. But like not in a positive way that benefits us. It's creating unnecessary stress, comparison, and distraction. Joseph thought back to the phrase Sophia had shared with him, where attention goes, energy flows. He realized how true it was. By shifting his focus away from the distraction that once dominated his attention, he had reclaimed his energy. And that energy, now directed toward his own growth and well-being of his community, was creating real, tangible change. As the weeks went on, Joseph continued to distance himself from the noise. He and Sophia started a local initiative aimed at teaching others how to reclaim their focus and resist the distractions designed to hijack their minds. They called it The Shift, a movement to empower individuals to take control of their attention and use it to fuel personal and collective progress. Their message was simple. When you stop letting the media dictate where your attention goes, you regain the power to shape your own life. And in doing so, you find the strength to stay focused on the things that truly matter, things that can captivate not just your development, but the growth of your entire community. As their movement grew, Joseph realized just how profound the shift had been in his own life. No longer was he a passive consumer of distractions. He had learned to take control of his mind, his focus, and his energy. And in that shift, he had found real success. The media could no longer control him. His mind was his own. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe.